should do it. Just start talking to the camera. I'm living way too much in my head. The combination of that and being really, really quiet on social media and just consuming, it's a little bit crazy making. Soon it will be 3 years. Everything has to line up perfectly, you know. It's a very taboo subject. There's a reluctance to just sit with the grief, with the pain. It's better not to share. And that's hard, right? If you can do that for yourself, then you're going to be able to handle those who can't handle you. It builds courage, it builds love, everything that we need in this world. Since I stopped wearing perfume so much, I've gone through a few phases. Maybe I should get rid of everything. It's just nice to actually smell the perfumes now and not needing to drench yourself. For example, this, I don't really like it, but what I really have been loving. Okay, is this working? This should work, right? Wow, it's been a long time. And I just received like a really nasty, like fucking nasty comment on one of my videos yesterday. And I was like, well, it's probably about time I get on here and post something, because I've been meaning to post for a really long time. And, you know, it's really hard for me to do lately for the last few years, last little while. So anyway, I thought I would, you know, give some updates, perhaps ramble. This will probably be a rambling video, just giving you a heads up. Some people like that, some people hate that. And yeah, I know that I was in the middle of the last time I was posting, I was in the middle of doing like my organizing / declutter of my perfumes. And I'm still meaning to finish that. Stuff happened, life happened, stress happened, and people like stayed in that room too, so I had to move everything around and change everything around, so things are a little different in that room, but I can still get to it, and I intend on getting to it. I was also like sitting on other videos that I already created that now I feel like it's been too long, and I wasn't happy about the fact that like I was blurry in them, but at the same time, it's the message that's important, like what I wanted to say in the videos. So I don't know. I've just been sitting on them and now it feels like it's been too long to post, and I was waiting to finish that. That series with my perfumes to post them, and that series is like never ending. For real, I'm only like halfway through it. I don't know how to speed it up. So we'll see. I might post those anyway. Who knows? Even this, like, I don't even know if I'm going to post it or not. Like, I have so much footage or bits like this of things that I intend to post, or I think, oh, yeah, I'll post that. And I'm just like, I don't. And I'm just, like, literally this morning, I was like thinking of doing what I'm doing right now. And I was like, and all the things I wanted to say were coming up in my head, even yesterday. I was like, why don't you just pick up the camera, your phone, and do it? Like, just start talking to the camera. Like, just do it. And this is part of the reason I'm doing it, is like I'm living way too much in my head lately. I say lately, but it's been a long time now. Way too much in my head. And part of posting on social media, or like part of the goal for me right now, is to just get used to putting myself out there again, used to taking up space. I feel like it's a necessary thing, like it's a healing thing for me. And I have to be okay with like failing. I have to be okay with being cringy. I have to be okay with just being however I am, accepting wherever I'm at, and being okay with however that's received. Like, that's ultimately what I'm after, is just like total acceptance of what is, and not reacting to it, and not conforming to any preconceived notions of who I am or what I offer or anything like that. And it takes guts to put yourself out there. It takes guts to not conform, to just be however you are, you know. Like I've mentioned before, that sometimes I feel like I'm on stage and that I was resenting that part of YouTube, or like that part was really stressing me out. Like right now I am like, I don't think I even washed my face. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that, but I just want to present myself however I am, however that is, in whatever state I am at. I did close I think. Yes, for some reason I can't tell. Anyway, I did close like the closet behind me, but that's about it. And I'm just generally like overstimulated. I think we all are. I think that's actually one of the videos that that I've been sitting on, that I created like in the last fall, that was about social media and generally, I guess. But my social media use, I guess, specifically, and like feeling overwhelmed and overstimulated and addicted. And I think this is happening for everyone except for maybe a small subset of people. I think most people are dealing with this right now. And truly, I think the only healthier way to be on social media is if you are an active creator on social media. And I've said it before, but most people are not creators on social media. And it doesn't need to mean that you're commodifying yourself or your life or creating products and making money. Like, but if you're going to be on social media, I think like you need to be like a participant, or else it just swallows you whole. And even if you're following really good content or helpful content, like it's too many of other people's voices in your head. You can't let all of that noise like drown out your voice, your soul. Like it's soul crushing. Even when there's good content out there, it becomes soul crushing. And I've said it before, but I hate reducing like people's voices and art and creations to content. I really don't like that. But yeah, it's been something I've really been struggling with the last few years, is how do I manage to still be a part of social media, still, but like in a healthy way, and also, because it's very anxiety producing. I've talked about that before, and it's been confirmed by many people. It's not natural to be exposed to potentially hundreds or thousands or even millions of people's opinions, unsolicited opinions, good or bad. Like, you are not supposed to be exposed to that. Like, I take multiple walks every day, and like I pass by lots of people. I'm sure lots of people have different thoughts about me as they walk by. I mean, makes it sound like everyone. No, I know most people are not you think more about yourself than other people. But I'm saying I'm sure people have had passing thoughts about me. Maybe thoughts that are really nasty too. I have no idea. But it's none of my business, and I'm really happy about that. Like, I'm glad that I can't mind read, for example. If there's something that I need to know, like, you will tell me, or I'll find out in that way, or you're close enough to me that like I'll find out, but strangers, people who don't know you, like, it's none of my business. But of course, on social media, people allow themselves to say everything that crosses their mind, and it can be very overwhelming, very, very overwhelming and overstimulating at the very least, and anxiety producing, like the same way you might refresh the same way that like a consumer might refresh their social media to see what new content there is. As a creator, you might refresh to see if there's any like new comments, but not like in a hyper vigilant kind of way, like, oh my goodness, like, because you're perpetually allowed to be seen at all times in every nuance, and everyone has an opinion about you in every single state. And you could have the very same video and have someone hate you and someone love you for the very same thing. So it's easier said than done to just be like, oh, don't care about people's opinions, blah, blah. Like, no, the fact is most people are not creators on social media because they wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, it's absolutely unsustainable. Like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. You have to have a massive boundary around that. But I also think it's kind of like a superpower. Like the people that I see, there are some people that I see that I'm like, wow, like they receive a lot of hate. And to be honest, like for no good reason. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about, yeah, people who get hate because they're coming up with hateful things online. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just people living their lives and being themselves, and they still have these polarized comments and like people who really, really, really hate them and come back for more. You'll notice that too. It's like some people are literally obsessed with you. Like they hate. I've seen this before where like there'll be a creator that I really like, and I'll see in their comments like, oh, that person comments on every one of their videos, hateful comments. They're obsessed with them. Like that's literally a hate follow, right? But what did I want to say about that? I forget what I want to say about that. But basically, like it's actually like I think it's a superpower. The people who are able to just keep on keeping on while still receiving these really weird, hateful comments. That, like I said, if you are just walking around in your normal life and you are not doing things on social media, like you will never hear these comments. And like think of like the worst things you've ever thought of yourself, and then think of the something even worse than that, like that you don't even think of yourself maybe, and like you will definitely get that on social media. if if you haven't yet, or like you're creating on, you will get those comments. You will get like worse comments than how you've even maybe spoken to yourself in the worst way. You know what I mean? So the worst thing you can think of, like someone will call you that, someone will criticize you for that, like absolutely. So yeah, you kind of like have to be ready for that, but at the same time, like if you're able to just kind of take that in stride and just kind of like take a moment with it and then move on and not let it affect how you show up, I think that's an absolute superpower. And I really admire people who are like that. And I think people who don't, I think maybe people who don't put themselves out there or who haven't underestimate how difficult that is. Yeah. So anyway, I think part of what's difficult for me too is that like in real life, I don't have much going on. I don't have a community. I don't have family. I'm really thankful that I have regained contact with my sister, but I don't have family in my life. I don't have family. I don't have any extended family. I don't have any close friends that I see on a regular basis or anything like that. I have people, I guess that I could say like are friends, but they live very far, I guess, or I haven't seen them in years. So I'm very isolated. And as an introverted person who's always only ever needed a friend or two, it's a big difference between being completely alone and isolated and having a friend or two. It's actually a big difference. So the combination of that and being really, really quiet on social media and just consuming, it's a little bit crazy making. Like, I don't have enough real interactions, obviously, with my kid and my spouse. But other than that, I don't have enough rich, varied interactions. And I mean, right here, this is parasocial, relationship central, right? This is not real interactions either. So this does not replace those real relationships at all. But it does allow me to practice taking up space and accepting myself however I am and showing up however I am. So, yeah, I see. I didn't really know where this was going to go with what I was going to say here, but I guess that's what I had to say right now. Updates wise, like nobody asked, but I'm going to update you that I'm not pregnant yet. It's been really, really hard. Soon, soon I'm going to be 39. Soon it will be 3 years since I've started trying. And I've done about everything that I can think of. And that other people can think of and that other professionals can think of. I've done every single kind of testing that you can do. I'm right around that point where I'm considering very expensive exploratory laparoscopic surgery to see if maybe I have some silent endometriosis because I don't have any obvious symptoms. Which is a pretty big deal, you know, like going under, like having surgery for something you might not have. I have learned so much about women's health through this fertility journey. I have learned so much. I have a really changed perception too about fertility and so much compassion and empathy for women out there. You never know what people might have gone through to have their babies, you know, and I've flippantly heard people kind of like poo-poo moms who are proud of their babies and be like, you shouldn't be so proud of that, like anyone can do that. And it's like, I wish, you know, but so many women know that it's a miracle. It's really a miracle. It's truly a miracle. Everything has to line up perfectly, you know. And I wasn't expecting to cry on this video, but I guess whenever this comes up, I can't help it. Not everyone gets their happy ending, right? So I just have a lot more understanding and empathy and compassion for these issues, for women out there who are dealing with it, and a lot more sensitivity around it. You know, obviously I'm dealing with secondary infertility, so I was able to have like that first experience of like accidental pregnancy of my miraculous son, and just never once for one second did I ever consider or think of my pregnancy being triggering to someone else. And that's fine, and obviously you shouldn't be concerned about that. It's a beautiful, innocent thing too. But it's really changed that for me, you know, and I understand now that your pregnant joy and children and your children, the child I have, is a confrontation to other women who can't have that, can't experience that. So that's just a layer of, I guess, of an added layer of awareness I have and compassion and empathy I have for other women that I wasn't as aware of before. I didn't realize how common it was either. So it's very common, but it's very private. People really, really keep it to themselves, and I understand why, you know. It's a little bit like it's a very taboo subject. Like, people don't want to hear about it. People don't want to know about your inability to conceive or your miscarriage or your grief, or like they're waiting for it to end too. Like, there needs to be like, you know, it reminds me a little bit of how like people deal with death in society, in Western society, you know, like where it's like people might feel really bad for someone that their spouse died or something, but they like somehow expect you to move on at some point, but not everyone moves on at the same pace. And there's the grieving period is like, there's nothing you can do for the person. You can't help them. You can't fix anything, you know? And a lot of fertility struggles are like that, and that's what makes it so hard to talk about it with anyone, because what I've experienced is that people either want to fix it for you, and I understand that that's well-meaning, but there's no space for you just being in an unfixable place. Like, it needs to be fixed. Like, there's a reluctance to just sit with the grief, with the pain. There's an inability to do that. It's too scary. It makes people uncomfortable. Similarly, again, to death and grieving and all of that. And it's intolerable for some people, to the point where, like, I've definitely lost a friendship from this, which is sad, but at the same time made me realize it wasn't a real friendship. Um and then also other people, I just realized it's just better not, for me, it's better not to say anything. It's better not to share. And that's hard, right? Because you want to share, you want to feel close, you want to feel relief when you feel so alone with something and so isolated with something. And so it does make sense that the people who really understand are the people who've been through it themselves. And not long ago, actually, I met a woman, and she was going through the same thing. She is pregnant now, though, so I'm very happy for her. But she told me that she'd completely isolated herself. She didn't, and I understand, and she understood me too. We didn't even have to explain it to each other, but it was, it was, it was too hard for her, and that makes everything a lot harder, right? To be isolated. So all that to say that a lot of people are going through this. There's probably people in your life that you don't know are going through this, but people are just living through it kind of alone, in silence. And just like a lot of other issues in life, right? So the hate on social media and the vitriol and the division is very loud on social media, but really everyone needs more space to just be. Everyone needs more compassion. Everyone needs more empathy. Everyone needs to be able to express themselves the way they want to and be accepted just the way they are. And it starts with yourself. It starts with yourself. And if you can do that for yourself, then you're going to be able to handle those who can't handle you, you know? Yeah. I've said it before, but my favorite kind of, like, the most impactful things for me on social media that I see, it's when I just see people just sharing themselves unashamedly, like, without shame, their truth, however messy it is, and unpolished it is, and up for interpretation it is by other people, and just standing in that truth and then keeping on, they keep showing up. I think that's powerful, and it leaves a powerful impression on me and other people. It builds courage, it builds love, everything that we need in this world, that we need more of in this world. So I guess that's my little talk right now. I did say what was I going to say? I need to go out and get some more vitamin D, get my sun on. Another, just one of the many strategies that I have to improve my fertility. This is also my fasting day today. Once a week, I fast to a GKI of 3 or less. That is your glucose to ketone index. And I thought, why not share a little bit today? Why not talk a little bit today? Why not just break the ice? Just get it over with. Like, I've been thinking about doing this for so long. So yeah, I will continue the series, the perfume series. And what's funny actually is that since I stopped wearing perfume so much, I've gone through a few phases where I feel completely disillusioned by my fragrance collection. And I'm like really sad that I have all these perfumes and that I'm not wearing them. And I'm like, why do I have this? And like, maybe I should get rid of everything. And then I've had other phases where I'm like, I fall in love with my perfumes again, and have worn them in small doses, of course, and really appreciate them in a whole new way because I'm not constantly oversaturated with perfume and fragrance. Like, when I was doing perfume videos regularly and everything, there was too much perfume coming at me, like, especially when you're testing things and everything. It's just like, it wasn't just for fun. Like, I was smelling more fragrances than I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, more often than I wanted to, like multiple times a day. And so now that space has allowed me to really, really fall in love with scent again. And sometimes I'll smell a perfume and I'll be like, wow, that's just so amazing. It's so beautiful. And that's really nice. So like, sometimes it doesn't feel so bittersweet. Sometimes it feels like, oh, I get to just experience the joy of it again. And yeah, I've noticed that, first of all, like, unless someone wears a massive amount of perfume, like, people can smell you with not much on. Like, you do not need to wear. I was never an oversprayer, but I did go a little bit anosmic with all the perfume use, and also I kind of gave in to like the pressure of overspraying. Like, that's really what's shown on social media, like that fragrance lovers will overspray a lot of perfume. I was never an oversprayer, but the combination of going a little bit anosmic because I was exposed to so much perfume and the hype around spraying a lot, I started spraying more. Not what I think oversprayers would consider overspraying. They probably would still find me tame. But for me, it was definitely more than what I was used to. So now I'm back to like being really happy with one or two sprays. And believe me, people who don't wear perfume can smell you with the one or two sprays. And it's just nice, like, to actually smell the perfumes now in these subtle ways, and not needing to drench yourself, and really being able to appreciate more subtle nuances and subtle scents in general. So I'm back to really loving more intimate scents that you really smell, that are close to the skin. And I still enjoy, like, when I go on my walks every day, like, whether it's pedestrians or like cyclists that go by, I always get a whiff of their perfume or their deodorant or whatever scent they have on. And I like that. I like smelling people as they walk by, as they pass by. I don't love when someone enters a room and fills the room. I don't love that. And I think that that probably happens to people who are oversprayers. Um, I never loved that, but I particularly like don't like that now that I'm not wearing as much fragrance. Yeah, but I can show you if you want. If you want, I don't know what I've been enjoying. I am not as like, I'm not like paranoid about the the chemicals in perfume and stuff. Like, I'm just like massive. It's just a massive reduction. Like, I think I'm fine. Like, I mainly just focus on applying it on my clothes when I apply it, and I don't wear it every day. So, I think that's okay. And like I said, I've been really enjoying closer to the skin fragrances right now. I wanted to show you, actually, wait. Anyway, I just wanted to show you. So, like, for example, this Kayali Eden Juicy Apple, I don't really like it. I think I took it out thinking it would be an easy, like, shampoo-y kind of fragrance, and it kind of is, but it's also It smells really cheap. It smells like a cheap body spray. It's true. So I don't love it. It's just a mini. So it's not like I regret any purchase like that. You know, it's just a mini. But what I really have been loving, I've worn a lot of Glossier You. As you can see, I don't remember when. I haven't been wearing this as much anymore. But I love that one. I love my Missing Person, even though I've not been wearing it that much. I got these little minis from Fleur, and I do really like, where is it? Father Figure, is that what it's called? Yeah, I do really like Father Figure. It's just like a figgy sandalwood, creamy, but still really fresh and clean smelling fragrance. But really all I've been wearing here, let me see, this is one of my absolute favorite fragrances. I did buy these two right here, these Dead Cool fragrances last Christmas, because I was just looking for a clean perfume brand that, you know, showed all of its ingredients and made a point of not using super toxic ingredients. And this is one of those brands, and I had already tested these samples 2 or 3 years ago, and I really, really loved them. So I got Dead Cool Milk, and there was Milk Plus too, but I actually think I prefer the regular milk. And I also got Taunt, which is one of those fragrances where it's like one of those instances, sorry, where it's like I loved the sample, like absolutely. I was so obsessed with the sample that I was actually wondering if I should just get this instead of this. I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad, like if I had to pick between the two, I would still pick milk. And I do really like it. It's just a very sweet vanilla, but like very vanilla. A little bit floral, a little bit powdery as well. But pretty, like it is pretty basic, which is okay. It's okay. But I don't know why, for some reason, the sample I had on paper that I kept for weeks on end, I was just more obsessed with than how it smells on me. But I do like it, and a big reason that I like it is because I feel like it has a base of this in it, and I do like to mix them. So anyway, I still like this one, but even there you can see that I've worn Milk more than Taunt. And recently, which was really interesting to me, I took this back out because it's summer, which is Skylar's Pink Canyon, and I've always loved this fragrance. But it was always a fresh, clean, slightly salty, breezy, marine sort of fragrance to me. But now when I smell it, I smell the florals in it. And I truly think, I think it has, what is that? Sunny floral, it's like in Monoi oil. What is that again? Oh my goodness. I think you know what I'm talking about. That white summery floral. Anyway, I'm going to put the name up after because I'm going blank on it right now. But anyway, I can smell the florals in this, which is just really cool because I could not really smell them before. Honestly, I think I smell all of these nuances more right now because I'm not so overly saturated with fragrances. I also have really enjoyed Coconut Sun again, which has smelled really creamy and vanillic to me, more so than I remember it. Sunkissed Hibiscus I used to really love. I still like it, but it definitely feels a lot heavier to me now than before, so I haven't worn it as much. And this was always here, but like this, for the last couple of years, I've worn quite a bit as like just a grab and go fragrance. La Fleur Bouquet. Okay, because it's supposed to be La Fleur, but I swear I thought it said Le Fleur, and I was like, that's weird. Anyway, by Afnan, and it's kind of like a cross between My Way and something that's like fruitier. And I think it's supposed to be an actual dupe of, again, I'm forgetting the name of that fragrance. But anyway, a very, very expensive fragrance, a very expensive niche fragrance that I think I would like, but I think this might do the job. It's like a fruitier, lighter, it's like a fruitier, lighter My Way. but it's not extraordinary either. I'm not like blown away by it. You know what I mean? So whereas this right now, Skylar Pink Canyon, I'm kind of blown away by it. For real. I've always really liked it. But now I'm like, oh wow, it's actually even better than I remember it being. So that's really nice. It's really interesting to see how my tastes have kind of changed or evolved um, over time, but also just with like perfume use, like using less makes my senses a little bit sharper and also more easily overwhelmed. You know, it's a double-edged sword. So something like, yeah, just like for example, something like this would be absolutely overwhelming to me right now, like camera. But it still smells really good though. I still really like the smell. But for example, like for some reason I always smell camera when we go to Costco. Like someone will pass by and I'll be like, wow, yeah, I'm glad I didn't wear that. Like that's too, there's something cloying about it. But anyway, that's all I had to share, I think, today. I think I'm going to do this more regularly because, like I said, I think it's important for me to do this. It's just been, I have no excuse right now. I have more time. I've finished homeschooling my son. I had guests that were staying here. They're no longer here. Like, I have time to do this. I should do it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. And I will probably see you in a video soon. I will either keep trying to do these like vlog type videos, maybe take you along sometimes on my walks. I'm not sure. I don't know how to do this really, but I know that I enjoy watching vlog type content, and maybe you do too. And like I said, I need to do it for myself. So yeah, and I'm still going to continue with that series. Stay tuned for the perfume series that will end at some point, and maybe I will put up those other videos that I've been sitting on too. But anyway, thanks for watching. Till we see each other again, take care of yourself.